aka Jade the Doula. And today, I'm going to answer some of the most searched for questions about vaginal health. Before we even begin, let's be sure we know the difference between the vagina and the vulva. Lots of people mistakenly call vulvas vaginas, but they're not the same thing. The vulva is on the outside and the vagina is on the inside. The vulva is actually all of the sexual parts that are on the outside of your body, including the clitoris and the inner and outer labia, sometimes called the inner and outer lips. The vagina is on the inside. You can't see it. It's the stretchy tube that connects your uterus to the outside of your body. So now that that's out of the way, let's see what y'all are looking for. Our first question today is probably one of the most common. Is it normal if my vagina itches or hurts? So if you feel an itch on your vulva or in your vagina every once in a while, it's totally normal. Vulvas and vaginas can itch the same as our elbows and our noses. But if that itch doesn't go away, it gets worse, or it turns into pain, it might be a sign that something else is happening, like a yeast infection, bacterial vaginosis, a sexually transmitted infection, or even an allergic reaction. Contact a healthcare provider if you have itching that isn't going away, you have pain when you pee, or you feel like you need to pee more than normal, the color, texture, or smell of your vaginal discharge has changed, you experience any pain, discomfort, or bleeding during or after sex, you find any blisters, ulcers, or sores on your vulva, which includes your clitoris and the inner and outer labia or lips of your vagina. Your vulva or vagina hurts or even feels tender. Your vulva looks red or otherwise looks different than how it usually does. So some ways to avoid infection and irritation are to only use unscented soaps and lotions, and don't use any products at all besides water on your vulva or in your vagina. The vagina really is self-cleaning. Always make sure you're wiping front to back after you use the bathroom, and make sure to change your underwear every single day, and try to avoid wearing underwear that's made of material that isn't breathable or absorbent. So really, y'all, cotton is best. Next, we've got a question we've definitely heard before. What should my vagina smell like? So despite what the feminine hygiene aisle at your local drugstore would have you believe, your vulva should not smell like cherry blossoms or new car smell. It shouldn't. It's normal for your vagina and vulva to have a smell, just like it's normal for your underarms to have a smell. And there is a range of normal smells. What's normal for one person might be different from what's normal for another person. Most smells are normal. Smells that could indicate a problem are fishy or sour odors or any kind of rotting smell. The other thing to watch out for is if you have a smell that's unusual for you at the same time that you have any of these other symptoms. So things like pain, itching, unusual discharge, especially if the discharge itself has a smell, burning, bleeding when you have sex, or even fever. So if that happens, you should definitely check in with the healthcare provider, because it could be a sign of something more serious. Also, if you notice an entirely new smell that you've never had before, or if your smell is bothering or worrying you, go get it checked out right away. Let's see what we've got next. What should my vulva look like? So there is no normal when it comes to vulvas. The only thing that we'd say isn't normal is if something hurts. We like the Vulva Gallery, which is a collection of illustrations by artist Hilda at Atlanta that celebrates vulva diversity. Check it out and you'll see right away just how unique every vulva is. There's endless variation in size, shape, configuration, and color of the clitoris, the inner and outer labia, pubic hair, everything. Scroll through and you may just see one that looks a lot like yours. But even if you don't, you'll see that there are tons of different ways to have a perfectly healthy and beautiful vulva. Finally, is vaginal discharge normal? Discharge is one of the things that I commonly talk to people about as a doula. You wouldn't believe it. Vaginal discharge is normal and most people with vaginas get it. So vaginal discharge is actually a fluid or mucus that keeps the vagina clean, moist, and protects it from infection. Normal discharge should be clear or white, and it shouldn't have a strong smell, although some smell is normal. But it should also feel wet and sticky. How much discharge you experience can vary from person to person and can actually change throughout your life, depending on if you're pregnant, sexually active, where you're at in your menstrual cycle, and if you use birth control. If your discharge changes colors or textures, develops a strong smell, or becomes heavier, or if you start to experience discomfort on your vulva or in your vagina, it may be a sign that you have an infection. If that happens, you should definitely check in with a healthcare provider who can help figure out what might be going on. So that's all for now, but if you keep asking, we'll keep answering. Visit bedsider.org for more expert information about all things sex, birth control, and sexual health.